So in this review, I want to share with you about my newest book in the spring of 2017. It's called Heaven's Perspective, Stories from the Book of Life. And what this book is, it's 17 individual stories. What we do is, we do this for one of our workshops, but we also have a website where anyone can sign up for this. But we'll interview you about one of your most painful stories in life. And then we'll take your story and pray over it and rewrite it from heaven's perspective. And the idea of heaven's perspective here is the way it would look if you're looking from heaven. So the stories are written in Jesus' voice usually, and they look at things from the perspective of eternity as opposed to within human time. So for instance, in one of the stories, a young mother whose child dies after 20 hours. She had health problems in the birth process and almost died, and her son did die. What she discovers is heaven's time is so different that in heaven, her son never experiences a day without her, because everyone gets to heaven on the same day. And the perspective of eternity is so different that we don't think of things this way. We don't realize how our lives look from God's perspective. There's another story in here about a guy who was a missionary in one of the Soviet republics, and he was harassed by the KGB. His wife was nearly kidnapped, was in all kinds of danger, and the Heaven's Perspective story is about the secret mission that God sent him on as a spy in this country, and how Jesus didn't tell him everything about what his mission was because it would have put him and his family in danger. So there's an amazing perspective shift in this story. And you'll hear the way we present the stories you'll hear the person's original story, their own thought process that came out as we interviewed them in a 1-hour interview. So after that, then you see the God story, which is written from heaven's perspective, and then you get a page or so of that person's reflections on how the God story impacted them. So the impact of these is amazing if you think about seeing your life through Jesus' eyes. People are radically changed by hearing the difference in their stories. One woman's story is about how Jesus took her divorces away. She'd lived with the shame of this for all her life and was released from that shame. Another story is about how this gal who'd completely shut down her emotions, she was raised in Romania under communist rule, and had completely shut down her feelings and had no desire to connect with people. And God used animals and autistic children to bring her heart back to life. So it's a beautiful story of the creativity of God in how he opened her heart again. So the book contains 17 of these stories from 17 different individuals, and it's written around what we call the 7 frames. And the 7 frames are presented in one of our metaformation workshops, Living from the Heart. But there's 7 ways that a coach can change a person's perspective. So for instance, looking at things outwardly, how they affect my actions, my circumstances, versus looking at them in terms of formation is one of the frames. Or looking at them from the perspective of earth time versus heaven's time. So earth versus heaven is another frame. But as you're reading the book, you'll also learn how to employ these different frames to change somebody's perspective that you're coaching. So this is a really fun book. It's an easy read because it's lots of stories. But I think there's some incredible insights in there about the goodness of God to people and how he's working redemption in their life. So again, Heaven's Perspective, Stories from the Book of Life. And if you like the book, the website is heavensperspective.com, just all one word, heavensperspective.com. But if you go there, you can sign up and have your story rewritten from Heaven's Perspective, or you can give a story as a gift. So imagine for a friend or a relative or a missionary or a pastor that you know, giving them the opportunity to have something confusing or painful or unresolved rewritten from Heaven's Perspective. That would make an amazing gift.